Abbey Road Studios is by far the most popular and famous recording studio in the world. The Beatles recorded there, the Stones recorded there, Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton. The list goes on and on. The list of people who want to record there even longer, and I'm on that list. So today I wanted to show you the plugins that I have gone around and bought for Black Friday from Waves and Slate, which I already had the Slate plugin, but I am going to be using plugins from Waves and plugins from Slate Digital to recreate the Beatles Era Abbey Road Studio. So let's get right to it. So this is going to be a pretty down and dirty little quick video for you guys. I'm pretty much just going to be opening plugins, showing them to you, talking about why I like them. But basically, we're going to be looking at the plugins that Waves makes, and they are starting with this one right here. This is exactly like the original EMI desk that they were recording on at the very beginning of their recording process. If I get any of these details wrong, I know there's so many little parts of this. I apologize. But anyway, this Red 17, very, very nice. Now, one of the things you should be looking at when you're looking at this is that the EQs are high and low. I'm really, really looking forward to mixing a song, just the challenge of it for myself, just like they did, just like Jeff Emmerich did. Just having high and low. I think that's such an interesting idea to mix like that. When I saw this and I started thinking about, wow, all those Beatles albums were only mixed using high and low as the EQ. Boom, that blows my mind. So anyway, this is plugin number 1. Now this is a very good plugin, and there's another one that I'm going to just open up really quickly that's often talked about when we're talking about the Beatles, right? And Abbey Road. We're going to come down here to the Waves, and it's the 37 to 51 right here. This one right here, it's just a newer version. This was a newer module that they were starting to drop into the EMI desk somewhere, I believe in the early 60s. I think this was around 61, 62 is when these particular modules, they were trying to come up with, some newer sounds. I will tell you guys, when you're going through these presets in here, classic stands for classical, just so you know, and pop would be pop music, obviously. But the classical one is really for, strings and stuff like that. It's got a nice sort of big open sound. It's got a bigger bump in the mid-range. It's a cool thing, very interesting to play with. But anyway, second plugin you want to make sure that you do own to do this Abbey Road trick is the Red 37-51. Very, very fun plugin. The meters work and, it looks cool and it sounds really great. All right, now the last thing I want to talk about, or no, not the last thing, but this is one other piece of this puzzle, the J37 Delay. By far my very favorite tape delay available. This thing is really incredible. The saturation is incredible. The presets are incredible. This thing sounds amazing. This is one of those plugins you buy, you turn it on, and as soon as it's on, you're like, oh, there's that sound that I've been wondering. How do they get those awesome delay sounds? This is it. This thing is stellar. I can't tell you how much I love this thing, and I've only had it for a couple of days and it's awesome. Again, I'm leaving a link below that will give you a discount if you want to go buy these things from Waves. Now, the last thing I do want to show you is from Slate Digital, because I didn't feel like buying something that I already had. This is the Slate Digital FGMU, which is part of their bus compressor package. But as far as all of the compressors that come with my Slate Digital package, this is the one that is closest to that Fairchild 670 or closest to a Fairchild compressor. And it's, close to the 670, which is one of the ones that the Beatles were using. And, obviously they were famously just using Fairchild compressors. I had this one. It works really well for this usage. Like, I need a sort of old school analog sounding compressor. This is the one that I'm using. So the other thing you should notice is the path that I'm entering these in. I'm just going to turn this one off just so you can see. So I usually do it this way. I have the compressor going into the board, and then I have the effect coming out after that. You might try this differently. I think, signal path is a very interesting discussion in the digital world, and it does make a difference where you put your effects before or after. Just after reading and stuff, I decided to sort of start playing around with this particular signal path. So anyway, let's just give you a quick listen through. So this is Freight Train. This is a song that I released a couple weeks ago. And I've been giving it just, I mean, this is relatively rough mix. And if you've watched that video, you know what the original mix sounds like. But this is me recreating it with these plugins. Rough mix so far. I did change the drum sounds to the Liverpool drum sounds because, you know, here we are. We're trying to use the Abbey Road Studio thing. So here we go. Let's just take a listen.
She's riding on a freight train. She's riding on a freight train. She's riding on a freight train. To see her love down in Tennessee.
I don't know if you can already hear. I mean, hopefully you guys have already watched the original mix of this. This is Freight Train. I mix all of this on the Slate Digital stuff, primarily Slate Digital, really. This is really cool, you guys. It sounds completely different. It is a lot less like nice and happy in the high end area. It's got this interesting sort of darker sheen over it, especially in the drums. I mean, changing the drum sounds were a big component of that, obviously, but on say like the guitar part, let's look at it. So that's the clean guitar sound, and I'll just turn these on. Do you hear that low end saturation coming in? Well, wow, it's so lovely. Now here's the delay that I love so much. Super, super cool. I don't want to, go around just playing sounds for you. I will do one more just on the drums, just so you can hear that I do have these on the drums. Oh, the other thing, I should have added this. The Abbey Road chamber package. I got the reverb package. If you're going to be doing this Abbey Road thing, you're going to need this reverb package. This is an amazing reverb. I'm going to throw it here on the drums. I have this going through the compressor as well as the Red 17 plugin. So let's hear the drums all by themselves. Let's turn it off first. Let's turn everything off so you can hear it nice and dry. Here's the reverb. Here's the compressor. And here's the mixer. Now, obviously, I would assume a lot of you just heard that volume shift when the compressor was on. Like I said, rough mix. I think it's so interesting to use these plugins because I don't really know what I'm doing. I haven't ever used them yet. I've been doing all the reading. I've been using, all the knowledge out there on the internet to help me get sort of familiarized with these plugins and basically with that mixer. So you guys, it's Black Friday. I'm going to leave that link below that gives you an extra discount, and I'm just going to leave it there. It'll be there forever, even if you want to buy these plugins later in life to recreate the Beatles Era version of Abbey Road Studios in GarageBand or whatever DAW you want, because this will work for anybody. But those are the plugins that I like: the Abbey Road Reverb, the Red 17, the other one that is the 31 to 54, I think it's called, and the you need some form of a Fairchildish compressor. You might already have one. If you're using the Slate Digital package, this is the one you want to use. But otherwise, there are people who sell them out there. This is the one I'm using. So you guys have an awesome day. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and leaving comments and thumbsing up the videos, because the more you like these videos, the more people see them, other people, and that's awesome. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate my patrons over on Patreon very much, and see you guys next week. All right, peace.